Many people say it is already done, but they do not actually know what that feeling feels like. They say the words, then immediately return to the world and ask, where is it? They imagine for a moment, then check the evidence. They call it faith. But inwardly, they are still looking for proof. So today, I will give you one small test. Not to force a miracle, not to chase a sign, not to turn imagination into a trick. This test is simple. It teaches you the feeling of already done without pressure, fear, or desperation. Do not begin with the thing that frightens you. If you begin with the money you desperately need, the person you fear losing, the condition that troubles you, or the result that feels urgent, you may not be testing faith. You may only be testing anxiety. This is why we begin with something small, not because the small thing matters. It does not. That is the point. A small thing carries no burden. It does not decide your future. It does not prove your worth. It does not make you safe or unsafe. Therefore, the mind can accept it more easily. I once spoke of a professor who held up a yellow pencil and asked that it be turned red before his eyes. But imagination is not a circus act. If a man wants a pencil painted red, he may use red paint. The law is not tested by forcing the visible world to change on command. It is tested by accepting an inner fact and allowing experience to confirm it in its own way. So we will not stare at the world and command it to change. We will choose one small thing inwardly, accept it quietly, and let experience confirm what was first accepted within. Choose one small, specific, neutral thing, a yellow pencil, a cup of coffee, a certain phrase spoken by someone, a pleasant message, a simple object seen in an ordinary place. Choose only one and choose something that does not feel important. Do not choose something you secretly need. Do not choose something that would make you feel disappointed if it did not appear today. This must be light because you are learning the feeling of acceptance without strain. Now close your eyes for a few seconds and see it inwardly. Do not make a long scene. Do not force the picture. Do not strain to make it vivid. Simply see the thing as already encountered. See the yellow pencil on a table. See the cup of coffee before you. Hear the phrase spoken naturally by someone. See the pleasant message already received. See the simple object appearing in an ordinary place. Then feel only this quiet recognition. There it is. That is all. Not excitement, not begging, not please let this happen. Just the simple feeling of having met it already. There it is. Hold it for a few seconds, then drop it. This is the most important part. Do not look for it. Do not carry it anxiously in your mind throughout the day. Do not walk through the day asking, where is my sign? If you do that, you have left the state. You are no longer accepting. You are checking. The feeling of already done is not nervous. It is not loud. It does not chase evidence. It accepts and then it moves on. So after you imagine it, return to your day. Work, walk, eat, speak, rest, do what is before you. Let the world arrange itself. If the thing appears, receive it simply. Do not rush to call it coincidence. Do not make it dramatic. Just notice the order. Imagination came first, experience followed. And if it does not appear immediately, do not make failure out of it. This is not a test of your worth. It is a practice in acceptance. Do it once, then let it be. The value of this exercise is not the pencil, the coffee, the phrase, or the message. The value is that you begin to recognize a state. You learn what it feels like to accept without tension. You learn what it feels like to imagine without begging. You learn what it feels like to know inwardly and then stop disturbing the seed. That same quality is required for the greater things. When you say it is already done, it should not feel like panic wearing holy words. It should feel like inner recognition. There it is. The fulfilled state is often quieter than people expect. It is not always excitement. It is not always intensity. Many times it feels simple, settled, and natural. That is why the small test is useful. It lets you touch the feeling without the weight of fear. Then, when you return to your greater desire, you know the difference between faith and strain. Strain says, I must make this happen. Faith says, I have accepted it within. Strain checks, faith rests. Strain asks the world for proof. Faith knows the imaginal act was the beginning. So try this today. Choose one small thing. See it inwardly. Feel the quiet recognition. There it is. Then drop it. Do not chase. Do not hunt. Do not demand proof. Let this small test teach you the feeling of already done. For the law is not learned by words alone. It is learned when imagination becomes experience. And you finally see that the unseen came first. Begin small, not because small things matter, but because faith must become familiar. And when the feeling becomes familiar, you will carry it into the greater things. Now, let us go into the silence.